All right, now let's talk to a business correspondent, Sidhant Sibal, who has been tracking this story. Now, Sidhant, the government may have its own compulsions for the fare hike, but has this really gone down well with the Aam Aadmi outside? Was this expected? Were they expecting it?
Sakal, this was a bitter medicine which everyone were expecting to take place. It was a decision on expected lines on Saturday, just on Friday, last Friday, Prime Minister said that the economy needs a better medicine, better decisions. Better decision, he meant that decisions which will benefit in future, perhaps 1 or 2 years later. So railways is in dire need of some kind of financial support, and remember the last government had into some measures, but this government has said that it will completely overhaul the entire railways and introduce new reforms, including the bullet trains and superfast trains. And the president in his speech in the parliament had said that reforms will be the key issue in railways, including the introduction of the diamond quadrilateral railways, which will connect the 4 metro cities, which will be perhaps the showpiece project for the NDA government. Meanwhile, here on the ground, people have more or less welcomed the decision, saying that railways need that the fare hike will translate into better amenities and cleanliness in the railways, and also the fact that the government has been talking about bullet trains, and for that we need money, the railways need money, and someone has to pay for it. And of course, the Aam Aadmi is more than willing to get better amenities, and for that it is willing to pay a little extra. So in a sense, more or less, on the ground here, the decision has been taken positively.
Okay, but in a larger perspective, we know that Prime Minister Narendra Modi had already indicated that he'll be taking some tough calls. So keeping that in mind, now the Railway Minister has hiked passenger and freight rates ahead of the coming budget. So is this a scheme of things to come?
Sakal, I didn't get your last part.
What do you think as far as the run-up to the main budget is concerned? And we have seen this passenger hike taking place in railways, and Prime Minister Narendra Modi had earlier already indicated that he's going to take some tough calls. This is also giving us some sort of indication that what should be expected in the coming budget, the general budget in next month.
Yeah, Sakal, in a sense, it is one of the major policy decisions of the new government, perhaps the first major policy decision by the new government in economic sense, and in a sense it gives a sense that what we can expect in the railway budget as well as in the general budget, some tough decisions, perhaps bitter medicine for the economy, but bitter medicine always lead to a better health for whether it's human or whether it's railway. So in a sense, we can expect some decision which will positively impact the economy. Remember, the government has already committed itself to the path of fiscal consolidation, saying that it will continue fiscal consolidation and not will not perhaps go for populistic measures which might in a sense give a short-term benefit, but in long term it can negatively impact the economy as well as the railways. Remember, as I just said, that the government is very focused, is taking railways very seriously, has put it on top priority. So we can expect more reforms in coming days, weeks, and in the railway budget by the new railway minister and also the Prime Minister.
Yes, Sidhant, in fact, you've been continuously interacting with the railway minister, Mr. Gowda. Now, his statement that, you know, the hikes proposed by the previous UPA government in its interim railway budget, and that's why he was forced to implement all of that to keep Indian Railways expenses in track. But what about the amenities? How does he really explain this passenger hike and justify it as well?
Sakal, you're right. The railway minister has said that this is just continuation of a policy decision taken by the previous government. But the main point is for the common man here on the ground, and he expects amenities, he expects cleanliness. Though no decision has been announced, we can expect some kind of decision in the new railway budget, and since it's the top priority of the government, the focus of the government will be on cleanliness and safety and security. Remember, when I first interacted with the railway minister, he said his emphasis will be on 2 S's, that is safety and security, and one C also, which he later on mentioned, was the cleanliness part. These SSC is the more it's an abbreviation, but this abbreviation means a lot for everyone, from the policy makers to the man on the ground. And if I can briefly tell you the origin of railway passenger, the present rise. It goes back to 2 or 3 years back, when the draft government said that it wants to delink the railway passenger hike from the politics of it, and
Right.
it wanted to form a railway tariff authority. Though this tariff authority is now in existence, but it does not have teeth. It does not have the power. It is just an advisory body. To give it power, the Railway Act of 1989 has to be amended, and for that, perhaps we can see some action in the railway budget, or perhaps in the budget session of the parliament, or perhaps the next session of the parliament. So the origin goes to there. And
Right,
also,
Sidhant.
the government had introduced
All right.
the fuel component moment.
Okay, Sidhant. Thank you, Sidhant Sibal, for those inputs from railway station on the passenger hike reactions of the